So I studied other modalities, and then he and I got back together, and he and I together traveled and did years and years of research and study. And
with all different, like, shamans and...
medicine men, sages, all kinds of indigenous plants, and indigenous peoples.
And
different
all
kinds
over
of
the world, too?
Yes, absolutely. And what you learn when you think you know a lot, you realize that you really
know very little.
You know very little.
The more you learn, the more you know
yes,
you don't know.
Yes,
right?
that's so true.
Right.
And so what we were able to learn and put together and integrate was some of the medicines and healing techniques that have, for us, become so advanced that they supersede modern technology. They supersede all of the invasive techniques that Western medicine uses. So, and by the video that we saw, you can see that the body, right, the body knows everything that's going on. Every cell in our body is life force. It has information about every other part of our body. So when we learn to communicate with our body, then it literally can tell us what's going on, what does it need to heal, how much, when, where, and why. And that becomes a very exciting thing, because that's when the fear goes out the window and the love for yourself.
We're in harmony. Fear is when harmony doesn't exist.
Exactly. So that part becomes very exciting, and when you become a healing team with somebody, if I'm helping somebody on their path to healing, you make this team, and it becomes really exciting. You know, sometimes when I'm working with somebody, I actually get really hot because the energy gets going, and it's very exciting. It's really fun, and people heal because then they start communicating with their higher selves, their physical selves, and the mental self gets to sort of take a back seat, because this becomes then the spiritual and physical part of the healing. This is the reintegrating part that puts you as a healer and you as a patient together in the same way that you as the spiritual body and you as the physical body come together, and this teaming effort is phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's
it's interesting you talk about that, because, at the opening, that's the collaboration. It's a time when we need to collaborate on that scale and on all the other scales. Just to bring all the gifts that we've all, been led to death's doorstep or whatever experience, and come together and really, start being open with it and sharing it.
Oh, absolutely. I think probably one of the shocking things for me was learning that all of the marketing about nutrition really didn't have our health really in mind. It had the apple industry or the cheese industry in mind. So when you begin to research enzymes and how they work in the body, you get a much better picture of how foods that have high enzymes work and how foods that have very little enzymes. And when you compare, you take an apple and a pear, for instance, you put them on your kitchen counter, you walk away, you come back 6 or 8 weeks later, the apple is still this great shining picture, exactly the same as the day you put it there, but the pear is this sort of liquidy bubbling mass on your kitchen counter, which is telling you that the pear has all the enzymes it needs to digest itself. So it can give life force to the body, whereas the apple is going to have to take digestive enzymes away from the body in order to break itself down. So it's going to...
So an apple a day makes the doctor sick?
I think makes the doctor's pocketbook sick.
This is an interesting thing, and there's a controversy that I've seen recently that I'd like your opinion on, that vitamins, because they're synthesized, and even enzymes, they have all the different... don't really do what they claim to do, because they're not with all the combinations and all the minerals and all the, and that's one side of it, that you should eat it in the food, but then the other side is you can't get enough of it in the
because
food,
our
because
soils are so depleted.
The soils are crapola, as they say, depleted in other worlds. But, that's so, where do you come down on that particular side of things?
Well, our bodies do need vitamins and minerals more than we can eat in our foods when we are in a state of poor health. But the way to put them back in, as you said, is not through synthetics and chemical supplements, because the human body is organic in nature and it cannot break down these synthesized components.
So we just either urinate them out, I mean, they just go. They really don't have much effect because we don't have really the tools.
I wish that were true, but for the most part, what the body can't use, it will store. So if something is not water soluble, And so oftentimes our colon will start to become impacted with vitamins and minerals, and literally some of those things can putrefy, right, if I can use that word, in our colon. And this is what begins to start the dis-ease process. And where I differ with Western medicine is that in Raphaology medicine, we don't deal with disease at all, because disease is just the name of a symptom. And all symptoms from the Raphaology perspective starts with the digestive system. So if there's a digestive problem, you're going to have a symptom in your joint, in your sinuses, in your spinal column.